Hello and welcome to this Caterer.com conversation with some fantastic people at Capital City College Group, also a wonderful employer from the hospitality sector and a student. And today we will be discussing specifically the FDSC in Culinary Arts day release course and the FDA in Hospitality Management day release course, which are offered via Westminster Kingsway College. And this video is to give you more information about the course, to enable you to understand what's involved and whether it would appeal to you, and then to give you the information as to how to go ahead and apply for the course. And it is a very exciting course. So we'll start with introductions from the group. Gary, can I start with you, and we'll go around, let us know who you are, what your role is.
Hello, my name is Gary Hunter. I am the Deputy Executive Principal for the Capital City College Group, and I've got a remit for Westminster Kingsway College and especially for hospitality and culinary arts.
Thank you. And Louisa?
Hello, I'm louisa.vicaria and I'm Strategic Business Development Lead and Programme Area Lead for the Culinary Arts and Culinary Health and Nutrition.
So that's the longest job title on the group. And then Ralph, how about you?
Hi everyone. Yeah, so I'm Ralph Coulson. I'm the People Operations Business Partner for Food Plus by Compass, looking after the UK and Spain and Portugal.
Thank you. And finally, our student today, Cezar. Let us know a bit about yourself, Cezar.
Yeah, I'm Cezar Dumlao. I'm a FDSC Culinary Arts student in Westminster Kingsway College.
Excellent. Okay, so we've got a good group of people here today to give us a full overview of the courses, and let's get into the conversation now, starting with you, Gary. So Gary, tell us a little bit about the course and why do you offer it at Westminster Kingsway?
Okay, so the two courses that we're offering is a foundation degree, science degree in culinary arts, which is a day release option. And we've got the FDA in hospitality management, which is also a day release option. And I specifically mentioned about the day release piece because of this flexibility around learning. So that you can actually do, or the student can actually do a full-time course in a shorter amount of time on a day release basis, so that they can continue with their career, they continue with their jobs, but they can immerse themselves in the supportive environment that we have here, excuse me, at Westminster Kingsway College at the Victoria Centre.
Excellent. And what do you see as the primary benefits of the course to students? So I guess we've got the students, the employers, and the industry as a whole. What are the benefits?
Absolutely. And to answer that, I want to wrap it all up into one, because the benefits are significant. Food and hospitality is our purpose here at Westminster. We believe in the power of food and hospitality to change people's lives, and yes, change the world as well, especially after having gone through this pandemic. Our singular focus of food and hospitality creates that success within the industry, is what makes our students that much more saleable assets, gives them the broader skills that they need to be able to make the changes in their careers, but make the changes in hospitality, not just for today, but really for tomorrow. We have seen so many issues around these last 18 months, and it's about equipping our students now for the future, and that's really, really key to what we want to do. You step across the threshold here at Westminster Kingsway and you come straight into a bespoke building that is drenched in history. We were the first hospitality school in the UK, conceived in 1910, one of the oldest in the world. And this particular centre here at Vincent Square, or Victoria, is dedicated to hospitality and culinary arts. And there's not many other academies or indeed educational institutions that are dedicated purely with one centre, purely for that sector. So everything that we do is really, really geared up towards hospitality and culinary, both not just for the student, but really for the industry. And we want to start to try and create new pathways that can start to come offshoots of these the culinary arts day release and the hospitality day release, that gives our students viable options and opportunities to progress their career in different areas that they may not have suspected would be available to them 2 years ago. And that is really, really crucial to how we deliver our programs and how we start to create our programs moving forward, is that flexibility and that opportunity to really, really inject energy and passion into and that industry experience into what we do. And it gives the opportunity for the industry to focus on that one centre and that one place, to know where how passionate we are about what we do and about how we start to drive a lot of the focus on the industry and on the hospitality piece.
I mean, you speak so passionately about it, Garrett, which is no surprise. I do agree. The Victoria Centre, certainly, which I know is true, as soon as you walk in, you feel that spirit of hospitality is a wonderful place to be. How do you see this approach evolving over time, and what's the most important aim for you for the future? You've touched on it, but tell us a bit more about what's next.
I mean, the biggest thing for us is that connectivity with the industry. We have some really, really strong relationships within the industry. We are the industry. We don't say that we connected to it. We are it. We work with the Academy, Royal Academy of Culinary Arts, the Craft Guild of Chefs, the Institute of Hospitality, and we play significant roles within those institutions, all for the benefit of the industry and all for the benefit of students going into the industry. And so for me, how we start to move forward is to be able to create those programs of learning that are beneficial really right now for students, but also how we can kickstart the economy, how we can kickstart the restaurants, the hotels, the event centres, the small businesses out there, and really, really start to help them as much as we possibly can and become a real hub, centre for that support and education and training for the way forward. And just to be here to lend an ear to anybody that works within the industry, to come here and talk to us, to provide mentorship as well. It's not just about, let me just give you a qualification here and let's run to this particular curriculum. It's so much more than that. And that's how we want to develop all of our programs as we move forward. But one of the biggest points is what do I do with my foundation degree in culinary arts or my foundation degree in hospitality management? Where do I progress from there? Where are those career opportunities for me? And we have experienced staff here that can start to engage with that. There's one thing about, teachers add experience to learning, but it's that experience that fuels connections. And I think that is really, really crucial about how we start to develop our programs and how we teach going forward.
Absolutely agree. And because hospitality is such a significant sector for the economy, as every employer knows within the sector, developing our people is definitely the way forward. So thank you for that, Gary. It was really insightful to talk to you about it. We'll move on now to Cezar, who knows what it feels like to actually be doing the course. So Cezar, you are a student of the FDSC in Culinary Arts, is that right? Tell me a bit about your background. What brought you to the course?
Yeah, so I'm a student in FDSC Culinary Arts. So actually, to give you a background of myself, I have a degree in accounting. I am an accountant for a very long time now, and I've been passionate about cooking since I was young, since I was younger. Um, so I think at this stage of my life, I was like thinking maybe it's high time for me to follow my passion. So I was like searching during the pandemic, like for schools. Initially, I was thinking of just taking like short courses for culinary, learning more stuff about it. And I was searching for like top schools in the UK and the world as well. And so one of them is West King. So I got the chance to have a chat with Louisa. So we had a phone conversation. She explained to me, the different pathways that I can take. And given that I'm already a professional, she suggested maybe it's better to take the FDSC Culinary Arts degree, because at least it will, will give me the opportunity to start in a in a better position when I decide to move to the industry. Um, at first, of course, I was thinking maybe it will be a bit challenging given that I'm also working. Um, Plus, it's a degree. It's been it's been a while since I last been to university. Um, but yeah, so far my experience in as a student in FDSC culinary, especially given that I started during the pandemic, it has been fruitful. I think all the teachers were really reasonable, flexible, they're really nice. I think the coursework as well. I'm enjoying it because I'm learning a lot about the basics, the foundation of culinary art science, and it's a good thing as well because you're not learning only about culinary arts. You're also learning about the business aspects. So if you want to set up a business in the future, if you want to progress in your career in the industry, so it's really helpful. Um, I think it's also I mean, I just want to know that, initially when I was younger, I really wanted to pursue this, but of course, the reason why I didn't when I was young because I think back then during those days, culinary there I think there were no degrees in relation to culinary arts, and based on my discussion with Louisa, I think they only started introducing this quite recently, which is good. At least now people like me who have the interest in this industry can actually have a degree.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
studying at a higher level.
yeah.
So that brings us on to, I guess, what the course itself involves. What does it involve, and why is the course content useful to you? You've told us a little bit about the business side, but can you give us some specifics on the kind of topics you cover in the course?
So, so we cover a lot of, the foundation, the basics about culinary arts and science. I mean, I had a chat with my other classmates as well. I mean, they are also experienced chefs. They also work in the industry, and they told me that, you know, if you're working in a restaurant probably or in a kitchen, you just do things because it's in the instruction, it's in the recipe. But actually doing the course, it actually gave them the knowledge why they're doing certain techniques or certain processes in the kitchen. So that's one aspect of it. I think it's really helpful because now you understand why you're doing things in the kitchen. And then the other thing is, of course, the business side of things. Like for me, I'm working as an accountant, so I work in an office. But it gives me, like for example, marketing. So what Luisa taught us last year, and human resources. These are the things that y- we don't usually get involved in. And I think if you set up a business, it is something that is really helpful to know the different aspects of the business, like marketing, menu engineering, human resource management, which is really important because we deal with people.
So it's the culinary side and the business side that you get in this course. It's a sort of all-round piece.
Yes.
And you mentioned that you're working obviously as well as an accountant. So what does that involve practically for you, time-wise? I mean, how much time does the course actually take up for you?
So currently it's once a week. So I think even because I just finished my first year, I'm going to second year. So I think it's still once a week, right, Louisa? I think it's still once a week. But I think because I attended one of the talks, with the graduating culinary students. I think in the third year, the last year, it's going to be twice a week. Um, but currently it's just once a week. It's challenging at some point because as work, I think similar to my classmates because they're also working in the kitchen in the industry. It's challenging, especially if during your busy season, during your busy period. But I think it all boils down to time management, and I think getting prepared or being prepared ahead. And of course, if you have challenges, we just need to discuss it based on our experiences. We just discuss it with the teachers. Especially we did it during the pandemic. They're a bit flexible. They're reasonable because we are day release students, so we work it's full time. It's still full time once a week. It's a full time course, but because we are working, the teachers they are very reasonable. So as long as you communicate that with them, uh, it will be okay.
So it's flexibility is the key, and working around your working time and your full-time course. Okay, well, it sounds like you're managing it very well, and well done on completing your first year. So that's fantastic. So where next for you when you complete the course? Where do you believe this course might take you?
So yeah, my idea is my plan is to get some experience in the industry. I think in the long term, of course, I want to set up my own business, maybe just a small pop up or a small restaurant. If not here, maybe somewhere else, maybe back home in the Philippines, because I'm from the Philippines. But I think that's why it's really good this course because you're learning not only the the culinary side of things but also the business side of things. Um, for example, what currently, like for example, marketing, just we did the marketing pitch. It was really challenging. It was actually exciting. I'm not saying this because Luisa's here, but I think all of us learned. I think I had because I met one of my classmates last weekend, Nicole. We went out. We went to one of our classmates' restaurant. And then I think one of us, Jenny, because they did a marketing pitch on barbecue grill, something like that. And I think she's now is applying that. She already set up a business out from that pitch. So it's really helpful.
Amazing. So the benefit starts before the course is even done.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So to finish then, Cezar, what advice would you give? What one or two pieces of advice would you give to anyone watching this now and thinking this sounds great? But what advice would you give them?
I think if you have a passion for it, in the hospitality industry, go for it. If you're younger, it's easier to say that. But if you're an adult, but probably you'll think that it's challenging. But I think it's about it's never too late. I think, just thinking for myself. Um, so just go for it. Look for options, especially in West King. So far, my experience, they're flexible. Um, the things that we're learning, they're very applicable to what we want to do in the future and to what we want to learn as well. So I think that's my my best advice is just to follow your passion.
Follow your passion, absolutely. And I think after the last 18 months, that's come to front of mind for a lot of people, is to follow their passions and push themselves forward. So thank you for sharing your experience. It sounds great, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the course. And I hope you set up your pop-up in the UK so that I can come and visit.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on now to Ralph. Ralph, you work at Food Plus by Compass. So let us know a little bit more from an employer's perspective. What do you see as the key benefits of the course?
Well, I think it leads quite nicely from Cezar's pitch and talking about the course that, there's some real on-the-job experience that can be naturally applied for an employer. And we know that the industry is in full recovery mode and that there's renewed optimism about the industry. But then as an employer, what's important is I think we all realize that people are at the heart of what we do. And to be able to attract that next wave of talent, whether the Cezar is coming from accounting or other people, and this generation of foodies that have popped up over lockdown, making banana bread or sharing their recipes on Instagram, hopefully that passion has sparked. And then as an employer, looking to these kind of courses and looking to those people who are choosing to either enter the industry or upskill themselves, it means that there's loads of benefits for us to take as an employer. But the other side to it would be, those people who are choosing to do it themselves. But as an employer, how can we support that development? And how can we factor in the other big thing around flexible working and utilize that time to make sure that your existing employees are getting the benefit to upskill, as we know the hospitality skills in the market is where we need to be focusing on. So I guess all of it adds up to a really important employer value proposition to focus on courses like this.
Absolutely. And at caterer.com, we speak to so many employers who are, this is front and centre for them. How do we develop our people? What people do we need for the future? What skills do we need for the future? So courses like this allow that elevation, which is so very important. So then, Ralph, how do you see this course as relevant to the sector and its future? Because, you know, obviously everyone's talking about the future of the sector at the moment, and always has done and will continue to do. What's your view then? You've touched on it a bit, but let's hear a little bit more.
Yeah, I can expand a bit more about why it is important. So, you know, we've got this cocktail of you know, people leaving the industry for a number of reasons. We've had Brexit during a pandemic, which has been you know, had an untold impact to our industry. But we are having those recoveries. We are seeing restaurants opening. We are seeing contract catering come online. But we do have to think differently about that time that maybe isn't spent in operations, that can be spent on development, because that's just going to be so key for these courses to and for, you know, the Westminster Kingsway to work with employers to make sure that content is relevant for whatever the next challenges are. You know, we are going to see changes from the pandemic to the hospitality industry, and the focus on the experience and you know, back of house, anything from the changed health and safety processes. There's so much there that can be unpicked. So, you know, how it's relevant to the sector is that day release course, to be able to upskill the employees and bring that into either a new position or into a promotion or a new company is going to be important going forward. I mean, I also, you know, from Cezar's example as well, the other thing that's good for him, you know, that's a whole different. If I had a previous accountant in my chef team, I would be so happy, because it's those kind of skills that they can bring from other careers, which is really important. And you know, whether I go to the pop-up as well and see the food, and then, you know, I encourage employers to also think about what that adds to them, to think differently about the staff that are wanting to come into the industry.
100% agree. Thank you, Ralph. That's really, really useful insight. Okay, so we're going to close now with Louisa. Louisa, you're going to tell us a little bit more about the practical details. So for those who've been listening and watching, if it's piqued their interest, if they think this sounds fantastic, what are the practical details though? Can you tell us a little bit more about, you know, what about the cost and the time implications to begin with, and then whether there are any qualifications or experience needed?
Thanks, Kathy. Okay, well, obviously we've mentioned it several times, but I'm just going to reiterate it. It is a day release course, which means that's one day. We do, as lecturers, expect the students to put in some extra hours. So if you're going to be doing the day release, the key thing for them to know, it is not a part-time course, it's a full-time course, and therefore it's fully funded by the Student Finance England. So they can get support with Student Finance to pay for the course. The cost is $4,690 a year, which is also an amazing price if you consider, you know, at the end of it, your foundation degree, it's the cost of 1 year at a university, and this is a higher education, and we are underwritten by Middlesex University. So it is a full-time course done on a day release, and all we would expect from the students is, as Cezar has highlighted, is that to work closely with us. We all have come from the industry, so we all have the industry knowledge. We all understand, you know, that come Christmas time, when we're expecting you to write a 2,000-word report, you're probably going to be doing double shifts because it's Christmas. So we fully understand the implications, and we are here to fully support all of our students. For mature students, there are no real qualifications required, because it's really in lieu of the years in industry. So that is really, we're trying to not hold anyone back. So this is an opportunity for everyone who has a passion, as Cezar says, to upskill and to achieve a degree, who has never been able to achieve a degree because it meant them having to, you know, give up work. This is us looking to the industry and saying, well, we know what we need to do to provide this for you. This is a degree that you can achieve whilst you're working full time. All of the lecturers are here to fully support all of our students, and you know, it's not something that Cezar just says. We truly are here to support them, and also to realise their dreams. There's many people out there who aren't aware that there is a degree, a higher education degree in the culinary arts and in hospitality that are going to equip you with all the qualifications that you need to really upskill yourself and give you a fantastic future. So there are no holdbacks, Kathy. There is, you know, people are not limited. They are being asked to contact us. And I think that the person to contact will be myself, but all of the details, my email address, and the details for an open day session that we have will come after the video. But unless there's any other specific questions, I think that my only takeaway that I'd like to leave is that everyone is welcomed. Anyone who has a passion, who is willing to work, and who is willing to be flexible and to communicate with us, this is really could be the start of a very, very exciting future for them.
Well, that is inspiring. I think I might be attending the open day in August. Okay, so of course after the video there'll be details, and in the post when we share this video, for the open day, and also to contact Louisa directly. Thank you very much to all of you for sharing your insight today. I've learned a lot. I hope that those that are watching and listening have also learnt a lot and are inspired to get involved with this fantastic course. Well, there are 2 to choose from at such an amazing educational establishment. So thank you very much, and we'll close now. Have a good day.